the job we talked about the on-the-job training. That means you have been trained within the organization. Then we talked about induction, which is what you've been trained because you are new to the system or you are new to the equipment used in the system. We talked about that, right? So now we have to talk about off-the-job training. So for off-the-job training, here, what does it imply? It said off-the-job. It means you have been trained outside your working environment. Your working environment is your environment. That is where you're working. But when you are being trained outside of your working environment, we call it off-the-job training. I think we have the point about off-the-job training. Okay, great. So, what do we mean about off-the-job? This training occurs outside the business. It might take place in the training center. A training center. When we talk about a training center, we're talking about a space outside the working environment that you can be trained in. It's a training center, so anybody can be trained there. Okay. So, for this, they said, off-the-job training can provide business-needed skills and knowledge. Business-needed skills and knowledge that business cannot provide. So, the business would have its own way of doing things. It has its own operations. But there are some things that the business will not teach you. There are some things that the business might find difficult to teach. So, they need to give it to specialists. Training is different from operations. Operations is what we do in our work, what we do in this organization. But when it comes to training, it might need additional skills, it might need expertise, which the business might not be able to give. As a result, they need to give it to specialists to train you. That's why they say what the business cannot give to employees. Do we get the point here, please? Are you guys with me? Okay. So, what are the advantages of using off-the-job training? Number one, output is not affected by training. If training makes a mistake, if training is making a mistake, well, you know, when we talk about on-the-job, we said during the course of training, if you make a mistake using on-the-job, it has to be reworked. You have to start again. So that output is gone. That means it's wasted. But here, it is off-the-job. So whatever mistake you make, it's not going to affect the business. Do you understand? So for off-the-job training, the first advantage is that you're not going to waste output, because at that point in time, you are not producing anything for the organization. Two, workers then cannot be distracted by work. Off-the-job, it is off-the-job, it is out of the work, it is out of the working environment. So nobody is affected. The job is not affected. Workers will concentrate on learning, strictly learning. They don't have to do any other thing. Like on the job that I'm being trained by a co-worker, I have to focus on the job, I have to focus on other things I'm doing that affect or that pertains to the job. But off the job, the only thing that comes to your mind is training. You don't have any problem with the operations of the business because it is out of the business. Do we get the point here? Here, you will only concentrate on training. You don't have any other thing to do. That is why it's what? You are not distracted. You cannot be distracted. But in the on-the-job training, you are distracted because you have to ensure that you are doing the work well and at the same time train the employee or the trainee. Do you get the point? The third one, training could take place outside the work hours. We can organize this training even after work. On the job you cannot, because it is on the job. It has to be done when there is operations. But off the job, we can organize it after the work. That means maybe the work or the business starts 8 o'clock to 2 p.m. or 2 p.m. Then the training could be from 3 p.m. to whenever they want to. That is why they said it is from outside work hours. You can train workers outside the work hours. That means as soon as they are done with their job for the day, they can go for their training. That's an advantage. The last one, customers and others are not put at risk. No one is at risk here. You are not putting anyone's life at risk. Why? Why? Because at this point in time, nobody is affected. Nothing is happening. Do we get the point of this? Do we get the point of this? Now we go to the advantages. Now the disadvantages of off-the-job training. The first one, no output as employees are not present at workplace. The first problem about off-the-job is that the employees will be paid, but they are not producing anything. Do you get the point? Because they are going to be trained outside of the organization. So there is nothing that they're going to produce. At the same time, the company will be paying them because they are part of the staff of the organization. 2, off-the-job training is expensive as it is provided by specialists. Off-the-job training is expensive because it's a training that is given by a specialist. So you can't compare it with on-the-job training. On-the-job is easy, it's cheap. But off-the-job, you have to pay companies. Companies that you have to pay are companies that take it as their own business. Their own business is training. So they will have to take whatever they have to take from it. They have to maximize their own sales too. So it is expensive. The third one, stop that please. Can I just stop it immediately? The third one, some aspect of the job cannot be taught through on-the-job training. No matter what you are being trained to know with the specialist, there are some things that you still need to know within the organization. So there are some things that the specialist or the company or the training center will not train you about or teach you about. Because they are not the organization. You have to work with the organization. So there are some things that you won't be able to know through the training center. Is it clear? The fourth one. It may take time to organize. There are training centers. They have a lot of clients. Do you get it? So you might not be able to get a schedule as at when you want it. Because you have to, maybe you have to apply, you have to fill some forms, and it takes a lot of bureaucratic means before they accept you. So your company might be on the queue because there are other companies that want training too. So it's not easy to organize. The last one, trainees may feel some of the aspects taught are not important. In the training, you might feel like, I don't need this, I don't need that. That might make you to lose concentration. It is off the job. Some things might be taught that like you know them before, so you might not put your mind in it because you feel it is not important for you right now. You only concentrate on those things that you think you don't know before. Is it clear?